Hey YouTube family, it's Sarah. I'm here today with my second video in my 6-month Surgiversary series. And today I'm going to be talking about my 5 keys to weight loss surgery success. Now, I know that sounds kind of weird because I'm only 6 months out. So can I really call myself a weight loss surgery success quite yet? I don't know. Definitely not anywhere near a goal, but I have lost almost 125 pounds in 6 months and 165 or close to 165 pounds in 8 months. So hopefully I at least qualify somewhat to talk about this. Again, these things are totally from my point of view. They're the 5 keys to my personal success on this journey. You may agree or disagree with how important they are to you, but this is a video that I wanted to make especially for people who are pre-op or considering weight loss surgery or even immediately post-op and are wondering, what are the things that I need to focus on or what's going to help me on this journey. If you watch my videos frequently, none of these things will be a shocker to anyone. They're things that I talk about all the time, but I've never put them together in one video. So this is it. So number 1 is knowledge is power, or we'll call it the more you know. I've talked in videos before about the fact that I think that educating yourself, doing your research is extremely important. And I think all of the things I'm going to talk about in one way or another relate back to the kind of big picture thing, which is actually on my list as well, which is commitment. I am by nature a researcher. I love to learn new things. I'm a planner. So research is something that's important on my journey, but I really think it's important for everyone to learn as much as you can, not just about weight loss surgery and the types of surgery out there, but on how you need to change your life, how the weight loss surgery tool can help you to make the changes that you need to become healthier. So you need to learn about food, about fitness, and how those things relate to the life of a bariatric surgery patient. Because things that you read that are related to general health and fitness and eating for I hesitate to say it this way, normal person, don't necessarily relate to weight loss surgery patients. Okay, so a perfect example is the idea that women should eat no less than 1,200 calories a day. If you are a normal woman, that is true. If you are a morbidly obese woman who had weight loss surgery, completely untrue. Totally unnecessary, doesn't make any sense actually. But it's something that people cling to, and I've even heard people say that their nutritionists at their bariatric clinic are telling them that they need to eat 1,200 calories even 2 or 3 months post-surgery. Craziness. Unnecessary, okay? So the only way that you're going to know that is if you've gone out there and done your research and educated yourself. You need to have extreme commitment on this journey, and you have to have a commitment to yourself. You have to be ready to fight for what's best for you. Okay, we all think that doctors and nurses and psychologists and nutritionists have our best interests at heart. And I'm not saying that they don't, but I am saying that the person who probably knows best what you need is you. And the more information that you have, the more educated decisions you can make for yourself, the more you can advocate for yourself when you think something doesn't sound right. So I big time think you need to do as much research and to educate yourself as much as you can. And that can be in any way. Some people hate the idea of like Googling things and sitting there for hours on the internet reading stuff. If you're not into reading, watch YouTube videos like you're doing right now. Or, go to a support group, go to an online forum like Obesity Help or Vertical Sleeve Talk, which also has other offshoots for other types of surgery. Those sort of online communities and forums. Those are all places where you can get information. You don't have to go to the library and get a book or buy a book on Amazon or research things on the internet. There's all sorts of ways that you can get that information. The important part is that you get it. The more information you have, the easier this journey will be. I promise. Okay. Number 2, we'll call it fail to plan, plan to fail. I talk about planning a lot too. Planning is extremely, extremely important for me. Again, I'm a planner by nature, so for me this works. But I really feel like if you are committed to this journey, you need to have a plan of action. And it doesn't just mean a plan when it comes to what you're going to eat or when you're eating things or how much of whatever you're going to eat. It's not just about that. It's about every aspect. Think of it like taking a hike. So Let's say you decide to go out on a hike and you want to get from point A to point B. You can definitely go on that hike with nothing but the trail in front of you. You can go without a map, without a compass, without a clear direction of where you're going. Will you get to point B? Probably. You may still get to point B. It's probably going to take you longer. You're probably going to get a little lost along the way. It's not going to be quite as effective or efficient without those tools. If you take your hike with the tools, you take your compass, you take your map, you take a well-marked trail, you will probably be much more likely to get to point B, and you're going to get there faster and more effectively and efficiently than the person without any tools or any direction. Okay, that's what planning does for you on this journey. Planning means not just planning your food, but planning your plan of attack when it comes to every aspect of your journey, when it comes to fitness, when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to goal setting. Where are you going, first of all, and then how are you going to get there? For me, I plan my food the day before. If I know that I'm going to be away from home, I plan my snacks so that I know I have something if I'm hungry. If I'm going out to dinner, I try and find a restaurant with the menu online so I can plan what I'm going to eat. What planning does is take away those last second decisions when you can much more easily make a bad decision. For me, and I think for a lot of people, I find that those bad decisions happen when I'm confronted with something I didn't think was going to happen. And all of a sudden, I'm hungry and I don't have any food. And then I'm thinking about where can I stop? What can I get? And it's so easy to just go through the drive-through instead of going and stopping and getting something healthy. But if you have a protein bar in your purse or in your glove box that you can grab and eat, then you've just avoided that whole situation. Planning food is the same thing. I plan the day before, and so the next day I have very little, I have very few choices that I have to make about food. It may not be something that you want to do, but it's something that it's at least worth a try to see if it helps you stay on track, especially if you've fallen off track in the last little while and you want to know, how do I get back on track? Planning is a really good way of doing it because it does take away those split-second decisions that you have to make, and that's where a lot of the temptation comes in to eat off plan and that sort of thing. Again, if you don't have a plan, then you can't really be worried about eating off plan. And so suddenly it makes everything a lot harder. This goes with number 3, which is tracking. Tracking can be using a food journal. Tracking can be using something like MyFitnessPal. The way you track is really up to you, but I do think that tracking is extremely, extremely important. And again, for me, it comes down to commitment. There are people who I've heard say, I just can't be bothered tracking because it just takes too long or whatever. To me, again, it may be offensive to some people and I apologize in advance, but you don't want it bad enough if you are not willing to track. Why is tracking so important? You are on a journey where you are concerned about calories. Most people are, right? You're concerned about eating less calories. What are you eating? All that stuff. It's all well and good to talk about that, but unless you can actually track what you're doing, it becomes very, very intensely difficult for you to actually determine how much you're eating or what you're eating, because any nutritionist will tell you we all underestimate what we eat, especially of things we shouldn't eat. We all underestimate. Measuring goes along with tracking as well. If you don't measure your food, you will generally, most people will constantly underestimate. So you could be eating 100, 200, 300 calories more than you think you are because you aren't measuring things and you aren't tracking what you're eating. So you can say, oh, I'm eating 800 calories a day. Why am I not losing weight? Probably because you're not actually eating 800 calories a day. Tracking is the only way to stay accountable as far as I'm concerned. And tracking helps you to go back and see patterns, to go back and see how you're doing. So maybe you don't think that you eat a protein bar every day, but you realize you do, and maybe you don't need the extra carbs or whatever it is. If you have a week where your weight goes up 5 pounds, if you track, you can go back and see, is it possible that 5 pounds is a real 5 pounds, or did I eat on plan and maybe that 5 pounds is water weight or some other strange gain? Without tracking, you can't analyze what you're doing and see whether you need to make a change. And then without tracking, you can't see whether those changes you made actually made a difference. So I know that I've talked about it before, and I know that I'm like some crazy passionate tracker, but I really do think if you are committed to this journey, if you want it bad enough, tracking has to be part of your plan, at least during the weight loss phase. Maintenance, you can make an argument that that's slightly different, but during weight loss, I really believe you have to track to get the optimal success. It doesn't mean you can't lose weight if you don't track, but if you want optimal success, if you want to get there, I really think that you have to track. Number 4 is support. A little help from your friends, let's call it. For me, support has been a huge, huge part of this journey. The friends that I've made through YouTube, like you guys, the friends I've made on Facebook, the friends I've made through, local friends I've made through support groups, friends I've made online, obesity help and all that sort of stuff. Those contacts, those friendships, that support is invaluable. And you know, I've said it before, I have an amazing husband, I have amazing family, I have amazing friends. They're all super supportive of me, and that is so important as well. But even without that, and I know there are people out there who don't have that, even without that, you can be successful, you can get support. The support of, don't cry, Sarah, the support of my YouTube friends and family, because that's what I think of you guys as, Facebook friends and family, it's invaluable. I can't, there's not even a way to measure what part of my success that has been, but I know that it's a big one. It is so hard. We've all suffered alone. I really believe we've all suffered in silence and suffered alone because we felt like no one understood what was going on. No one understood what it was like to be us in our, you know, obese, morbidly obese bodies. Okay, but there are people out there who do understand. And when you can make a connection with someone, when you have someone to go to, when you just, you know, aren't feeling the motivation, aren't feeling the dedication, the commitment, when you have questions and you have someone to go to run it past them, when you just need a laugh, that's when that support becomes so important on this journey. And so for me, as far as how and why I've been successful up to this point, it absolutely has a lot to do with support. The last one is commitment. So I've talked about this all through this video. The last one is commitment. I really believe a lot of this comes down to how badly you want it. I don't want to ruffle feathers by saying this, but I do think I've certainly seen people that hope or want or believe that this is the quick fix. They believe the hype. They believe what other people say. Oh, weight loss surgery, that's the easy way out. And they go into it blindly. They go into it not understanding how extremely difficult this journey is. Extremely difficult. Okay, don't let anyone sugarcoat it for you. It is so hard. It is hard every day. If it's not hard, you're doing it wrong. I'm going to be honest. If it's not hard, you're doing it wrong. Okay? It's hard. You need to push. You need to be dedicated and committed every day. You need to stay on track. You need to fight those old demons. You need to keep the end in sight. Okay? All those things require extreme commitment. If you don't have it, success will be much, much harder for you. If you are pre-op, or you're just looking into weight loss surgery, please be honest with yourself about what you think weight loss surgery is going to do for you. Do you really understand that weight loss surgery is only a tool and that it is not a diet? It's not like anything you've ever done before. It is an extreme, extreme lifestyle change, one that is going to affect the rest of your life. It's forever. It's a battle every day. It is for good. There's no going back from this. There's only going forward. And the place you're going to is amazing, but you have to work at it. Everybody knows the old adage, right? Nothing that's worth having comes easy. This is one of those things. You have to have commitment. You have to want it bad. That is ultimately, for me, the number one thing that you need to have on this journey. Commitment, dedication, motivation, laser focus on getting to that end result, on making yourself healthier, on getting to a place where you can be happy, where you can stop abusing yourself and start loving yourself. But you really have to want it. The more you want it, the easier it is to stay on track. Dexter wanted to come and say goodbye. So that's it for today, guys. I will see you tomorrow with my 10 best weight loss surgery post-op tips. And until then, remember to appreciate every step in your journey. Have a great day.